guys, Commander here. Welcome to a new video on PC Building Simulator. Now, as you can see from the title up above, there has been a new update to PC Building Simulator, and part of the update is me including these three PCs, and I'll explain what these are on the benches for in just a second. But first of all, one of the additions that's been added in this update is the ability to change monitors. Now, I mentioned in the last update video where they said that you could change peripherals, that I wanted them to make an addition so you can change monitors, and that they will probably do it because it goes hand in hand, and it came in the next update, which is this one. Now, to put the monitors into review, these are the 6 monitors that you get with this update. Now, I'm not being horrible, I'm not being funny, but basically it's just a sort of like a lazy way of doing it. Like, it's nice in itself, you know, they're nice colors, but there's no difference to the monitors at all. They've just been recolored. Like, they've got the model and they've just changed the color around 5 other times. So it's nice because you can make a color scheme out of your PC and your keyboard and your other peripherals, but it's not very entertaining. Like, I know they've got their hands tied because they can't put any monitors in, let's say, like Samsung, Acer, Hitachi, etc., without having them as partners in the game. And I hope in the future they will have them as partners. Like I've said before, I want to see some more partners like Corsair or G-Skill coming together with the different keyboards, and putting more keyboards and mice into this game. But at the moment, because they haven't got any partners like Acer or Samsung or Hitachi that make these gaming monitors or make monitors in general, there's not really an awful lot that you can do. I understand that, but it is a bit lazy. You know, they could have made a couple new models maybe, or added a dual monitor effect maybe. I don't know. You know, it's all right. You know, you can make. You know, that's just something they've added in just because you need to have it in. So, and if it's there, I'm happy about it. But in my opinion, it's just a little bit lazy, personally. But anyway, aside from that, we've got a new addition to the family of PC parts. Now, this is also one of the new cases. It's the Corsair Obsidian Series 750D. It's a nice looking case. Let me see what other cases that we've got. They're all Corsair ones, so I already just type in Corsair and it should come up. Let me spell it right, Corsair. It's not that one. The 2 Obsidian series, so the 750D and the 500D. The Crystal series 280X RGB, and this 900D series Obsidian tower. This is actually a super tower. Actually, how big is this? Let me just... Oh my god, that is disgraceful. Yeah, okay. I know what I'm going to do after this video. I'm actually going to put a PC in that. I'm going to put a PC in that. Anyway, ignore my my procrastinating. I was just quite blown away by that. That's probably even bigger than this, than the Cooler Master Cosmos, because if I go Cosmos, the Cooler Master Cosmos is Cosmos. It's a full tower, so that's a super tower. So it's even bigger than the Cosmos, and the Cosmos is it's a big tower. I want this case for my PC. I know it's about 250 quid, which isn't too bad for a case, but if I could change my case around, that's the case that I would have, because I really love that case. I love the look of that case. Or one of these Be Quiet cases, because these cases are nice. But anyway, so what we've got is we've got 3 PCs. Now, this PC hasn't got any graphics cards in it, and I'll explain why in a second. This PC has got a 9900K 1000 watt power supply. Well, basically the entire system is exactly the same, but the only difference is the graphics cards. Now, this one's got 2 1080s in it. This one's got two 2080s. And this one here is going to have the new graphics card that we've got in the game, which is the Radeon VII. I can't remember. I don't know in Roman numerals. I think that's 8, I think, or 7. But this AMD Radeon card is the new one that's been added in. Now it's Crossfire, so it should work in our cases with our motherboards. But it's frequent. It's an 8 gig one. I was going to use the 2080 Ti and the 1080 Ti as a comparison, but because it's got more VRAM in it, it's going to benchmark higher anyway. So I'll use the 1080, the 2080 base for these tests. Now these two PCs are exactly the same. Well, these 3 PCs are exactly the same. So if I go into this one, it's got the only difference is the cases and the motherboard. No, the cases and the graphics card. So they've each got a Asus ROG Maximus X formula, a i9 9900K, a Corsair HX 1000 watt power supply, 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro DDR4 RAM at 4700 megahertz, a 8 data XPG SX6000 M.2 1TB SSD, and that is a something Orcus 360 RBW, which is the liquid CPU cooler, as well as the fans as well. So the case fans are obviously different, but the main hardware is exactly the same for all the PCs. But this case, I want to show you the difference between the 2080 and the 1080. So the 1080 overclocked the GPU as best as you possibly can. Now I did try and overclock the CPU, but the i9 9900K is 5 GHz anyway, and it's a little bit unstable if you go and overclock without having to water cool it. And water cooling but if I water cooled these two PCs, which I can do, I need to water cool that PC to make it fair. And the new graphics card, I don't think has got a graphics card water cooling panel on it, so that wouldn't make it fair. Yeah, which it doesn't. So that would make it fair. So I left it as just being air cooled, as it will do bog standardly. But yeah, if I water cooled the i9, I could probably overclock, but it's 5 GHz anyway, so I don't really see the point. But this one, now I want to do 2 tests. Now these 2 are overclocked to the best of their capabilities before I run the scan, bench it, and it blue screens. So, but they're different clock speeds. So what I want to do is I want to do this. So these 2 tests are going to be where they are on base. So as a maximum, the maximum clock speed they can go to before they overheat. But I also want to do one where they're all at the same clock speed and see how the balance changes. So we'll faff about with that a bit later. But this PC has scored a 14,951 with the 2 1080s in it. This PC scored a 17,706 with the 2 2080s in it. Now this one, I haven't actually put the graphics cards in it yet. I haven't even actually put this PC up and overclocked it yet, because obviously I need the graphics cards to overclock it. So if we just go and cable this PC up a minute, it should be USBs driving this side. Oh no, they're in. Hang on a minute. So, oh no, there's one in there. I didn't think there was. Anyway, they're nice looking graphics cards. So, yeah, go away. Right, so what I need is 3D Mark. No. I need GPU tuner. And I also need OCCT, which is the thing that we measure. So the GPU tuner is the thing that we use to overclock the GPU, and the OCCT is the thing that we test to make sure it's stable or not. So what I'm going to do is, if I go to GPU tuner, this will actually be an overclocking tutorial as well, might as well. Anyway, so we'll go apply, and we set this to infinite. Now what this does is this constantly monitors it. So as you can see down here, we've got, as you can see, CPU is 5 GHz anyway. We'll swap over to the GPU, so we can see our GPU stuff. Excuse me. So as we've got CPU temperature, 70 degrees. If I overclocked it anymore, it'll blue screen on me. We've got CPU throttle, so it's not throttling. It's not thermal throttling. GPU temperatures for the first one and the second one. And the power draw, which is how much power is coming out of our power supply. Now, once this stops, what I do is I set this on a constant, because every time I click apply when I've changed the values, it'll automatically change. So what I then do is I go up and up and up, bit by bit by bit, and when it blue screens on me, that's how I know that's too much. Then I back it down just a slight, so then it's stable. That's the max I can get. It might be a couple digits out, but it still works. So how you know, if you're ever doing this at home and you've got programs like GPU Tuner or OCCT, I never bother with it, because my graphics card that I've got a 1050 Ti in mind. I want to get an RTX 2060 or 2070, but I'm not sure how overclocking works on that. But my GPU, my 1050 Ti, is gigabyte hardware, but it comes with a pre-overclocked option to it, so I don't actually even need to bother overclocking it, because it does what it needs to do anyway. I don't know why you'd want to underclock it. That doesn't really seem to make sense. But anyway, so what I do is just put the things up bit by bit, and as you can see, it does go up. So once the power draw is stabilized and is stopped, that's when you can start going again. Because if you do it too much, you then blue screen. You don't know what the actual limit is. Now you can sort of get to it, because you can sort of like guess where it is, because once again it's in like 921, 922. That's where you sort of need to stop, because if you go any further then it will blue screen. But what you need to do, I mean, it'll also blue screen if the power draw actually goes above what the actual power supply is inside, which is 1000 watts. Right, if I go apply, it's at 800, it's going to go up to about 900, and it's also way up in the 90 degrees already, but I think that might be because I haven't got a powerful enough power supply in it, which is a bit of a pain. Yeah, see, it's blue screened on me. So what I now need to do is I need to go back and look at which is the safer option. Now I'm gonna just, now luckily it puts it back to where it was originally, so if I just push it back down a little bit, click apply, go for OCCT. Now we can go on automatic, because we're just testing to see which one is the actual safe one to use, so we can use the automatic. So what's that on? That's 15,000, so that's already more than the 1080, but not as much as the 2080, which I sort of expected. I don't know what league the 1080 that card is in regards to the whether it's a 10 equivalent to a 10 series or 20 series GPU, but again, this GPU I got up quite high as well. Not as much as the 1080 though, which is slightly weird. I found that quite weird. It's not much off. It didn't go up. It didn't overclock. It didn't really overclock as much, but and the core clocks, however much they seem rather even, they're not too bad. Again, I won't bother benching that again, because I haven't really changed too much of the values. But so what I'm going to do with this one now is if I take the power supply out from the back, because then we will take that entire lot off. Leave that to just stabilize a little bit, and I'll switch this off. So yeah, I really want this this PC to sort of bench up that high. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'll stick this just down in a minute. Let's get that massive Corsair case, the Obsidian Series 900D. Now that is one monster of a case. Now there's only one case that's this big in this game. I mean, that's this EVGA case. It's probably only an EVGA case EVGA have actually made, I think. EVGA. It's this one. Now this is a full tower, so this is actually even bigger than this one. So I'm quite interested, actually. We did that video on the trying to benchmark the Threadripper. Now the only thing, after I did some research after that video, and the reason why I didn't bench very high is that 3D Mark, the Time Spy version of 3D Mark, which is the one we use to benchmark this in this game. Now, some you may not know, but if you use 3D Mark, you'll know perfectly well that there's many different types of 3D Mark versions. You've got your Time Spy, you've got your Mobile, I think, Mobile Strike or something like that. They're different versions of the 3D Mark, and they do different things. Now, Time Spy, which is again the one we use in this game, doesn't like the Threadripper CPUs. It just doesn't bench them very high. I don't know why, but for some reason it just doesn't like them. I'm being really careful with how I. Yeah, that's done. I've had that. That's enough. But you've got to be really like it doesn't. For some reason, TimeSpy doesn't like that. It doesn't like the Threadrippers for some reason. I don't know why it doesn't like it, but it just doesn't like it. So that's the reason why the Threadrippers didn't bench so high. But again, in all fairness, though, like server-side CPUs, which is what like this i9 9980XE and the 7980XE and all that are used for. So in all fairness, you shouldn't game on server-side CPUs. Many people do, and many people get like do quite well with doing it, but I still wouldn't recommend doing it. Oh Christ, that's a 3 thing. Oh dear. That's a big CPU, the big graphics card. Oh my god, that is disgraceful. That is disgraceful. Can I take this one? Oh my god, that is disgraceful. Wow. Okay. I'll take that. Yeah, it's fine. Right, 3D Mark 1. Yeah, so server-side CPUs are like not made for gaming. A lot of people do use them for gaming. A lot of people get quite a bit of like success in using them for gaming, but that's not what they're used for. That's not what they were made for. They were made to keep servers active and to keep them like safe and like for their clients to use as they need to. So they're not. So people use them for things they're not supposed to. It doesn't do them any like hardship at all. It doesn't. You know, some people can game quite well on multi-core things. I mean, a lot of people. It's more like for use for workstations because Xeon CPUs are very high in core count, so you can multitask really well. Like if I was editing for somebody. If I was editing for somebody and I was doing it as a full-time career, I would use something like a Neon CPU for my workbench because they are high in core count, so I can do various different things at once on them because they're good at multitasking. But for gaming, having a high core count is not a major problem. Like my laptop is a i7 8750H. It's an 8 core or 6 core? I think it's a 6 core. Excuse me, but it's a 6 core CPU. I don't even go above 4 cores most of the time. Like my PC that I'm using at the moment to record this video is a 6 core, and I hardly ever use the actual like 6 core nature of it because it's so like. Sorry, I barely ever use the 4 core nature of it just because like I don't need it. You know, that's just the way that it is. Pricing it cost me. So that's 163090. So what was that? What was the clock speed? 1883. It was 1113. I think it was 1113. I'll leave it at that, and then I'll benchmark it. I'll leave it like that, and then I'll benchmark it and see where that gets us to. Right. So yeah. Let's restart this PC. I really should have put an SSD in it, but I couldn't be asked. It has got an SSD slot, but it means taking out one of the graphics cards and putting M.2 in and putting the graphics card back in. Excuse me. Right. So GPU tuner. It's got quite a high clock speed, 2080 Ti's anyway. Right. So infinite. Let's change that. Let's put that up there. That like that. Let that settle down for a minute. So these are the ones with the 1080s in it. Yeah. So they're still going quite well. I mean, they're good graphics cards, but I just want to see how they compare. And if like that graphics card is most probably more of like a 1080 sort of graphics card. But I want to see like if you bench them the same, if there's any much difference, because they're the exact same speed. Put them aside from the 2080s, but put them at the same clock speed. That's still working. That's fine. So what was this? So this one was 16062, and this one was 16390, but that's because the clock speed was slightly higher. The memory clock was slightly higher. So I think if I stuck the memory clock down to what it was, I think that'd be relatively similar. Oh, hello. So I sucked the memory clock down quite a bit for the 1080s, and the actual score was a lot lower. Okay, that's interesting. So is it more of a 2080 graphics card then? If it's benchmarking the same as the thing else, it's just clock this up. So does that mean that it's more of like a 2080 graphics card? I'm gonna do some research on that later because I'm quite intrigued by that. Yeah. See, that's how you know what type of saves it is. Just put it at the same clock speed and see how it benches. If it benches lower, then it's an older card. So I think it's a newer type card, personally. Excuse my voice as well, by the way. Excuse me. Right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. That's at 90 already, so I'm just going to cut that off. I'll click apply again, and let's just benchmark that. So that'll go benching. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Like the fact that that is somehow like a lower clock speed. Sorry, a lower like speed, even though everything else is exactly the same. It's just the graphics cards that have been altered. I am very intrigued by that. Right, I'm going to end this video in a second, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back in just like 2 minutes once this is finished, and I want to just see what the benchmark score is. So I'll be back in literally 2 seconds. Right guys, I'm back, and this PC has finished benching, and it's scored a 20,950, which is actually pretty impressive. The two graphics cards are obviously 2080 Ti's, 24,656, which I can understand because they're like top of the range graphics cards. I do want them to actually include the Titan XP or the Titan V graphics cards as well, because they're meant to be absolute monsters. So I hope they do that. I also hope they add in the Neon processors as well for Intel, because we've got the Threadrippers, and we've got the X series i3, 5, and 7 core things. So I hope they add the Neon stuff. If the three, these are excuse me. These are the features that I want added to this game in the future. More like company peripherals for keyboards and mice and monitors, Intel Neon, Titan V processors, and the equivalent in AMD to bench it up against and comparison it with, and what else was I said before? So 3 things. I forgot. Anyway, yeah. So more peripherals, Titan XP graphics cards and the equivalent on Radeon, and Neon processors. I think that'll do quite well. But surprisingly though, like the graphics cards got a score of 24,000, but the CPU only got 11,000. Now that is what I mean when I say that server-side CPUs are not very good. Now if this was an i9 9700K, for example, that would bench so much higher, especially when overclocked, because it's not a server-side CPU. Server-side CPUs are only there for performance with cross-platform. So they're not made for gaming. They're not meant to be high benching. They're there for multitasking across loads of different PCs, and to make stable like workflow. So if you go into a workplace and they've got like, let's say an office, their central server will be like this massive like 18 core or 24 core CPU that's like 4.2 gigahertz. But because it's only a server-side CPU, it doesn't bench very high. It doesn't bench very high. Now, that's the problem. Now, I wouldn't use this for gaming at all, especially not the CPU. If I could change the CPU, I could change it to something else. I apologize if you can hear my dog barking downstairs, he can wait. But if I could change the CPU for something else, that's the only thing I would change, the CPU, and I'd change it to an i9 9900K, not even the 7980XE, because that's still a server-side CPU. I'd change it to the i9 9900K, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy with everything. Now, if I go into the motherboards, actually, if I go install motherboards, now, if you look at these, like, Z370s, or, if we go Z370 boards a minute, look at Z370 boards, they've all got 4 RAM slots, they haven't got any more than 4 RAM slots. Now, whereas if we go to the X299 ones, they've all got 8 RAM slots. Aside from this one, because it's a micro ATX, but all of these other ones have got 8 RAM slots in them. Now that's because servers, more often than not, need more than 4 RAM slots because they need that extra bit of buff. So so that's what I wanted to try out, but that's the reason why I say servers, because also these motherboards are not meant for gaming either. Yes, they look aesthetically pleasing, but they're not made for gaming. So if anybody turned around and said to me, do you think the Intel i9 7980XE was good for gaming because it's a high clock speed with lots of cores, I would turn around and say no, because it's not a gaming CPU. You know, you find a lot of people, I know somebody who has like an old Neon processor that they used to game on, but they've got it overclocked so high, because any lower than that, it won't game properly. Now that's because it's a server-side CPU. But they've got it overclocked way over the recommended, and if he went to the manufacturer and said, this is broken because it overheated, if they turned around and said, well, what speed do you have it clocked at? He said, oh, it was over what I originally what they recommend me to have it overclocked as. They'd turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about it because you've broken the warranty by overclocking it more than it's meant to. So that's sort of, yeah, it's good for workloads, like if you do Premiere Pro or Photoshop or what have you, on a large scale, then yes, fair enough, it's a good idea. But for gaming, it's not exactly the best. So, anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this little video here. Well, not little video, I'm going to have to maybe cut this down so bloody much. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content. If you have any other ideas that I can do a PC Building Simulator, do let me know, because I'd be very interested to find out and to test them out for myself. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I shall see you all later. Bye!